Welcome back to Studio 4, everyone. Joining us now is our good friend Skylar Gallop. Skylar, thank you for being here today.
Happy to, always.
And today we're going to be talking about actually a guy that's from Amarillo, or from the area right now, but he's from Canada?
He's from Canada.
That is so cool. Tell us more about this story.
It's fun, yeah. So this week's episode is with Michael Kashuba, who is the director of our city's Parks and Rec department.
Okay.
And I've known Michael for a little bit because I'm on the Parks and Rec board, and he grew up in Canada. So he has like two of the things that we kind of look for in like a good episode.
Yeah.
Is, obviously he has a really interesting perspective on Amarillo from his work in Parks and Rec, and a really interesting perspective because he was raised in Canada, in British Columbia. So it's a really fun conversation.
And how did he talk about that transition from like going from Canada to the States here?
Yeah, he was a baseball player, and
wow.
I found myself like leaning on several stereotypes of Canadians. One of which I was like, "Can you play baseball? I thought you could only play hockey in Canada."
Oh, that's very true. Also, that everyone's so kind. Also from Canada, I've also seen that stereotype.
Okay, so funny that you should bring that up. We were talking about the differences of being raised in Canada and then living in Amarillo, and it struck me that that's the thing is everybody says that everybody in Canada is like the friendliest people, and that's also what they say about Amarilloans is that we're the friendliest people.
Really?
So yes, so
and
I kind of like put Michael on the spot and asked him to pick who is friendlier. So if you want to know Michael's estimation on whether Canadians or Amarilloans are friendlier, you'll have to listen to the episode.
That is so good. I can't wait to look at this episode. And what can our viewers learn from hearing Michael's story?
Yeah, I think, aside from the really interesting perspective that he has from not being from around here, we talk a whole lot about our Parks and Rec department.
Yes.
And I think it's really easy for people to assume that like Parks and Rec is like just taking care of our parks, and I get that, and they certainly do a whole lot of that. But Parks and Rec is also our golf courses, our city swimming pools, the Warford Activity Center, they have senior services. They really do so much more than I think people generally are aware of. And for me, because I kind of had this experience when I came onto the board, I was like, whoa, I had no idea. And so I'm excited about this episode for it to be an opportunity for other people, not just to know about, but like to plug in and experience. I talked about a couple months, I guess it was like actually last Halloween, I took my children to Mom and Son's Nerf Wars. They do stuff amazing. Like that. They do camping in the park because there are some families that maybe don't have experience or opportunity to go out and camp at PDC. So they do camping in the park, they do fishing stuff. There's really a lot to learn. We also talk about like what is really great about the department, what are some challenges of like running our city's Parks and Rec department. So it's really a neat snapshot into that whole area of our city. And
Skylar, where can our viewers go to listen more about this episode?
For sure, always, heyamarillo.com. We also stay super active on our Facebook page, so you can always check in on Facebook, and we've got all the episodes linked up. But our podcast also, we're on like Apple, Spotify, everywhere that you would find your podcast, you can find us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Skylar, for being here today and telling us, the story on the Hey Amarillo podcast. So thank you. Keep it here on Studio 4. We'll have more on the way.